What's going on, guys? Esri Rozier here. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos. I'm going to be completely upfront and transparent with you guys. The reason why I stopped doing these videos for a long time is because in 2023, I fell into a deep depression. My mental health was in shambles. I was in a very bad place. I was struggling. I'm still struggling, to be honest. These last 3 years have been very rough, but I try to fight through it every day. But that's besides the point. This game yesterday, Eagles versus Rams, besides the two Super Bowls, yesterday's game was the greatest Eagles win I've experienced as a fan. And I know that we've had like better wins than this. I wouldn't say this is our greatest comeback in franchise history. 2010 against the Giants at MetLife, the Deshaun Jackson punt return game, I would still say that was our greatest comeback because that was a 21-point deficit in the fourth quarter. Like, we were down by 21 points in the fourth quarter with like 7 minutes left. That was our greatest comeback ever. But this game yesterday, just being there at the stadium, being there at Lincoln Financial Field, experiencing that comeback in person, that's why it's a special level for me. And we were wearing white jerseys and green pants at home. That's very rare for the Eagles to do. We hadn't done that since 2012 against the Ravens. In fact, the last time we wore white jerseys at home at all, 2015 against the Cowboys, week 2. But this game, it's crazy because it started out so well. You had Zach Baun intercepting Matthew Stafford on the Rams opening drive. And shout out to Zach Baun, by the way, the bald eagle, because in that dreadful first half, the only positive about that first half was Zach Baun. The guy was everywhere. He made the interception. He made countless tackles. Like, the one player who shined in that first half when everything else was just falling apart was Zach Baun. So yeah, we scored off the brotherly shove on a short field thanks to Zach Baun's interception. But then the game just got out of hand after that. This offense, specifically the offensive play calling, 3 games, well, not 3 full games, 10 quarters, this offense has looked like garbage. 10 quarters, this offense has looked stagnant, conservative, vanilla, restricted. Like, we were saying this all week. Week 1 against the Cowboys. Week 2 against the Chiefs. Heading into this game, our biggest concern was the offensive play calling. Our biggest concern was Kevin Patullo. Because we're not using our full potential. We run a very horizontal offense. Like, all we were doing like prior to the second half of this Rams game, just going at the sidelines, going at the underneath routes. Like, the routes are so bad. I was struggling to see guys getting open is because I thought that Kevin Patullo, he wasn't doing a good job to scheme his guys open. It's like the offense, the first 10 quarters of this season, it looked just inexcusably bland and restricted. Like, why are you so horizontal? Where's the vertical stretch? You know, but before this game yesterday, we only had 2 deep shots. Only 2. Week 1, they did it to Jahan Dotson against the Cowboys. Week 2, we did it to Devontae Smith against the Chiefs. That was an underthrown pass by Jalen Hurts, but Devontae Smith made the readjustment and caught it. Big play to win that game. And it's like, only 2 deep shots in 10 quarters, like, that's ridiculous. Like, the offense, for all the firepower we have, this offense should not be struggling the way the offense is struggling. Like, you have Devontae Smith, you have A.J. Brown, you have Dallas Goedert, you have Jahan Dotson, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. The offense is way too talented to be just struggling to move the ball like this. And it's like, and even when they run the ball, it's like they run the ball so predictably. Like, they don't even try to mix it up. Like, there's no pitch outs to Barkley. There's no like bootlegs to Hurts. No RPOs. It's like when you run the ball, it's like you run it the exact same way every time. And the Rams, the Rams were going to show up to stop the run. You saw what Saquon Barkley did to the Rams last year. He hit them for 255 on Sunday Night Football in LA, a franchise record for the Eagles. He broke LaShawn McCoy's record set in that snow game against the Lions, 2013. And then the playoff game, 205 yards. The 78-yard touchdown where he's like slapping his helmet. Like, Saquon Barkley chewed this team up last year, the Los Angeles Rams. So heading into this game, you knew that they were going to key in on him. And it's like the first half, every single time we ran the ball, it's like we were doing it the same way. And it's like you could not get anything going because the Rams were prepared to stop it. They stacked to the box. Like Saquon was averaging 2 yards per carry, I believe. And I think at halftime, we only had like -1 yard passing. Hurts had -1 yards passing at halftime. That's ridiculous. And shout out to the defense, man, because I was saying at halftime, we're lucky to only be down 19-7 because with how bad this offense is playing, this game should be a lot worse. This game should be like 45-7. But the Rams, the thing that came back to bite the Rams in this game, they kept kicking field goals. They kept kicking field goals. They had the touchdown to Devontae Adams. I thought that was a push-off, by the way. I thought he pushed off on Reed Blankenship, but they didn't call it, whatever. But other than that, it's like the Rams, like they just kept kicking field goals in that first half. There was one third down before a field goal. Matthew Stafford had a really bad overthrow. Like if he hits that guy, I think it was Tyler Higbee. I could be wrong. I thought it was Tyler Higbee. I still remember Higbee having the 3 touchdowns at the Lincoln 2020 when they beat us with no fans in the stadium. That was the COVID season. But yeah, like if Stafford hit that guy in stride, like that would have been a touchdown. This game could have very easily been 45-7 Rams around like halftime or early third quarter. But the defense did their job. The defense, although I will say this, the defense didn't play great against the run. The defense was very bad against the run yesterday. Kyren Williams was getting a lot of space. He was cutting out to the edge a lot. And then that other running back, I don't remember his name, but they were running the ball on us very well. They were very efficient running that ball yesterday. It was like a role reversal. It was a role reversal from last year. Like last year, it was the Eagles running all over the Rams. And then yesterday, it was the Rams running all over the Eagles. We could not stop the run. But besides that, I thought that the defense, they were doing their hardest to keep us in this game. Zach Bond, like the defensive line, that game should have been way worse than 19-7 at halftime. If the defense doesn't hold them to field goals, like we have no chance of winning this game. So that's why I'm giving a shout out to the defense. But then in the third quarter, the offense finally woke up. They finally woke up. We finally started throwing down the field. We finally started going deep, going vertical instead of just going at the sidelines horizontal. We finally started utilizing balanced offense, an offense that's versatile. And like Kevin Patullo, where was this for the previous 10 quarters? Like Kevin Patullo, I'm trying to be patient because it's only week 3, but the play calling is so bad, man. The play calling has been so bad this season. It's like there's no creativity. There's no nuance to the offense. Like at least for the first 10 quarters, it's like we're such a limited offense. And for him to finally realize that, oh, we could throw the ball down the field. It's like, where was that against the Cowboys? Where was that against the Chiefs? Where was that in the first half of this Rams game? Like you have an explosive offense. You have weapons out of the wazoo. And it's like the crowd starts cheering. And by the way, that one catch that AJ Brown made, like when it was a one-handed catch, that was insane. That's why you pay AJ Brown the big bucks. AJ Brown is a stud. And it's like then Hurts, he finally throws a touchdown pass to Dallas Goedert to get us on the board, 26-14. And after that, it's like the defense really clamped down. Like the Rams, they kept getting forced to field goals again in the second half. Well, actually, no, 2 of the field goals were blocked. Yeah, there was a field goal late in the fourth, well, not late, early in the fourth quarter. We block it. I think it was Jalen Carter that did that. And then at the end of the game, well, actually, we'll get to that later. But the fact of the matter that the Eagles were able to come back down 26-7. 26-7. That is a 19-point deficit at home in front of your home crowd. In front of your home crowd, by the way. You are the defending Super Bowl champions, and you're getting blown out 26-7 at home, at Lincoln Financial Field, in front of your home crowd. That's embarrassing. The Rams all celebrating Kyren Williams after that touchdown. They're dancing in our end zone. And it's like, you guys got to step up, man. Like, play with some pride, man. You're the champs. You're the champs. You just won the Super Bowl. And you're playing like this at home, no less, in front of your people. Like, you guys got to be better than this. And then they finally woke up. The offense finally woke up. It's like late in that game, it's like we just kept hitting guys on third down. A.J. Brown makes a third down. A.J. Brown makes a third down again. Devontae Smith makes a third down again. There was one sequence, I believe we went for it on fourth down and we got stuffed. I didn't like that decision by Nick Sirianni. I thought that you have to punt that ball there. I figured that by going for it and not getting it, you would put the defense in a really tough spot. I get that Nick is very aggressive. He's always been aggressive since he came here in 2021, but you have to have a feel for the game at certain points. And it's like that decision to go for it on fourth down instead of punting, I didn't like that. I thought that put the defense in a very disadvantageous position. But then we get our own fourth down stop. Like the defense, for as bad as they were against the run, this defense really played with their heart when it really mattered. Like getting that stop on fourth down, holding the Rams to field goals. The defense, I'm very proud of what they did yesterday. Down 26-7 at home. And this Rams team, this is a very potent offense. Like Sean McVay, he's got these guys dialed up. Like the Rams could score every time they touch the ball. Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Tyler Higbee. You have Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams has a fumble issue, but other than that, I think he's a pretty solid running back. Like this Rams team, they are very deadly on offense. So the fact that we were able to hold them to that many field goals and to keep them from scoring so much in this game in the second half, like that's very commendable, a very commendable job by the Eagles defense. And that fourth quarter, like after we blocked that field goal, after Jalen Carter blocked that field goal, the way that we were so efficient, man. Like the offense, we kept doing the deep shots. We didn't get away from it. And then Saquon Barkley was held in check this game. I think he had like 46 yards in total. He finished like 46 yards, averaged like 2 yards, something, whatever, per carry. But he started to get into somewhat of a rhythm late in the game. And the offense, I'm so glad that this offense finally woke up. Like the second half of this Ram game, that's what the Eagles offense could be. Like that's what we are, going down the field, like taking deep shots. Like we don't have to do this horizontal crap where you're just throwing at the sidelines or at the underneath. Like I hate this intermediate short range passing attack because you'll get very predictable because they're not even going to fear the deep ball because they know that you're not going to go for it. They're just going to just watch the middle of the field. They're going to watch the sidelines because that's all you do. And the offense finally woke up. Like the way that they kept converting those third downs on that last drive, like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, like, oh my God, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. They were finally throwing the ball down the field. Thank God. Like Kevin Patullo, you could have been doing that the previous games in the first half. You could have been doing that for 10 quarters before this. And we already mentioned how Jalen Carter blocked the field goal to keep the Rams from putting up points. And then at the end of it, so the final drive, right? I believe on third down, we thought that A.J. Brown was interfered with, but the ball was uncatchable, so that's probably why they didn't throw the flag. On fourth down, Jalen Hurts, he hits Devontae Smith in the end zone for a touchdown. That was his third touchdown of the game, his third passing touchdown. His fourth touchdown overall because he did score via the brotherly shove on our opening drive. And then we go for a 2-point conversion to try and go up by a field goal. We didn't get it, so the score is 27. What is it? The score is 29-26 Eagles. And then, like, the defense on the final drive, the Rams' final drive, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Matthew Stafford is hitting these guys, and then they get into field goal range. And I see a lot of people leaving the stadium. They think that the game's over because the Rams are going to kick a chip shot field goal to win the game. Well, actually, 44 yards, that's not really a chip shot. I take that back. And then, in one of the greatest moments in Eagles history, on the Rams' game-winning field goal attempt, Jalen Carter, he blocks the field goal, picks it up, and runs it back for a touchdown to win the game 33-26. Unbelievable. The stadium, the noise, the energy, like that stadium was about to explode yesterday in Philadelphia. The Link was rocking. For them to come back and win this game after how bad they looked in that first half, after how terrible that offense played in the first half, the way that they just didn't give up, the way that they kept fighting in that second half to make that a real contest, to not let the Rams just stomp them on our home field. It was truly inspiring. It really was. Jalen Carter, well, I meant to say Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis, that was the best game of his career, his best game in the Eagles uniform. There was one point early in the game, Jordan Davis, he chased down Matthew Stafford. He ran after Matthew Stafford on the sidelines to prevent him from converting a third down. That was a big play. And then the blocked field goal return for a touchdown, that man was running like 19 miles per hour. He's 330 pounds. For how heavy he is, I keep saying that, Jordan Davis is extremely fast, man. Like, dude, props to Jordan Davis because he got into shape this offseason, and you could tell it's really paying dividends. It's making a difference because this man, he's playing very well. Like, yesterday, that was his greatest game as an Eagle. Like, in his 4 years, we drafted him in 2022. And Jordan Davis's 4 years here, that was his greatest game. That was his greatest game. And shout out to Jalen Carter, too. Now, Jalen Carter did do something silly, something stupid in this game. After the first field goal we blocked, like early in the fourth quarter, he got like penalized for taunting, I believe. And it's like, Carter, you gotta be smarter, man. Like you're such a talented player. You're such a fierce player, but your situational awareness at times, it can be very bad. Like we all remember week 1 when he spat on Dak Prescott, not even before the first snap of the game, like immediately after the opening kickoff. And my thing is like, why would you spit on him with a ref right in the vicinity, with the ref like right next to you? And then you do it to the quarterback. Of all the players, you do it to the quarterback. They're definitely going to get you spitting on the quarterback. And your mind should really be on your teammate, Will Shipley, who suffered a very bad injury on that play. He's out for the season. And then yesterday he gets called for taunting after the blocked field goal. He's got to have better situational awareness. He's talented. He's our best defensive lineman, but the situational awareness, he's got to improve with that. He's got to be smarter. A 19-point lead the Rams had in this game, and they lost. They blew a 26-7 lead. This was our largest comeback ever at Lincoln Financial Field. The largest ever. And I believe now we've won 12 consecutive games at Lincoln Financial Field. We have won 12 straight home games dating back to last season. The last time we lost a home game, it was last year at a home opener against the Falcons. That was a devastating loss, if you guys remember. Like deep in that game, we were up, I believe, 18-15, and the Falcons didn't have any timeouts. And on third down, instead of running the ball, we threw the ball to Saquon Barkley. He dropped the pass. And my thing is, okay, I will say Saquon Barkley, he should have caught the pass. He shouldn't have dropped it. It was a bad drop by Barkley. But why are you even throwing the ball to begin with? The Falcons don't even have any timeouts. The Falcons have no timeouts. Why are you throwing the ball? The Falcons, they want you to throw the ball because if you get an incompletion, it stops the clock. And my thing, I thought that if you run that ball on third down, Barkley converts it. At least gets a first down. Maybe not a touchdown, but a first down at least. And we end up losing that game 22-21. Kirk Cousins, he went down the field in like 40 seconds, hit Drake London on the right side of the end zone. He barbecued Darius Slay. We lost that game 22-21. Since then, we have won 12 consecutive games at Lincoln Financial Field. I believe that is our longest home win streak ever since moving into the stadium, Lincoln Financial Field, in 2003. In fact, in the last 20 games, we are 19-1. 19-1. 19 wins in 20 games, ladies and gentlemen. And the one loss was the game in Washington where Jalen Hurts was knocked out after 11 plays. A game where Saquon Barkley, he dropped a pass late. Devontae Smith dropped a pass that ices the game. Devontae Smith, that's a pass that Devontae Smith, he catches that in his sleep. Like, that Washington game was so fluky. Like, we win that game 99 out of 100 times. We had 5 turnovers in that game and lost. That's the crazy part. 5 turnovers and you lose? That's crazy. But that is our only loss in the last 20 games. 19-1. In fact, in the last 17 games that Hurts has started and finished, we are 17-0. 17-0. This team can be something, man. We can go back to the Super Bowl and repeat as Super Bowl champions. We really can. If we play the way we played in the second half of this game yesterday, we can go back to the Super Bowl. We can win another Super Bowl. And it's like, this was a very big confidence boost because we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week. And we all know we've had some very nightmarish games down there in Tampa Bay. The 2021 playoff game, the 2023 playoff game, the regular season game 2024 last year when we were down 24-0 in the blink of an eye. We've had some nightmarish games against the Bucs as of late. So to get this win before going to Tampa Bay, I think that's going to do a lot for this team because I feel like when it comes to the Buccaneers, it's a mental block we have with them. The Buccaneers are in our heads. Like, there's something psychological about that team. Ever since Rondé Barber's pick 6, ever since the 2002 NFC Championship game when they came into Philly, having never won in a game that cold, and then they send us home, and then they win the Super Bowl against the Raiders. Like, the Buccaneers have been torturing us since 2002, over 20 years. Like, that team, they're in our heads, guys. They're in our heads. So to get this win, to get this extremely gritty win before going to Tampa Bay, I think that's going to make a huge difference next week. We can beat the Buccaneers. Last year, when we went to Tampa Bay, we didn't have Devontae Smith. We didn't have A.J. Brown. We didn't have Lane Johnson. They thumped us, but they thumped an Eagles team that was shorthanded, an Eagles team that wasn't at full strength. The previous week in New Orleans, Lane Johnson had a concussion. Devontae Smith had a concussion. Oh my God. Don't even get me started on Devontae Smith's concussion last year in New Orleans. Let me tell you about that play, guys. All right, fourth quarter, right? Devontae Smith, he catches the ball. He gets stood up by 3 different Saints. He stops moving. His forward progress is done. The play should have been whistled dead. Like, he's no longer moving. Devontae Smith, he's getting stood up by 3 different Saints. There's no more forward progress. The play is over. The referee should have blown the whistle. He should have blown the whistle. They didn't. And then a 4th Saint comes in and then hits Devontae Smith. Dirty hit. Just knocks him out with a very dirty hit. And then he's out of there. And I blame the referees for that because that play should have been blown dead. He was already stood up by 3 different Saints. There was no reason why that whistle had not been blown. You should have blew that whistle, referee. But it's okay, though, because the very next play, Saquon Barkley hit him for a 62-yard touchdown. And we eventually won that game 15-12. I hate the Saints, man. The Saints are a dirty team. It's very on brand for them because they're the same team that got in trouble for Bountygate. They were the same team that was playing players to injure guys, like injuring guys like Brett Favre in the NFC Championship. Like, I can't stand the Saints. I love that we won the Super Bowl in their stadium. I hate the Saints. Screw that team. But a very encouraging win yesterday for the Eagles. A very encouraging show of fight after facing a lot of adversity in that first half. Like I said it earlier, besides Zach Bond, like there was nothing good about that first half. Like Zach Bond was the one highlight. And to keep that Rams team out of the red zone, to only allow 2 touchdowns from that Rams team, to keep holding them to field goals, and then to hold them scoreless after they went up 26-7. Like this Eagles team, we could be special, guys. We could be very special. So take care, everybody, and go Birds.